Welcome, one and all, to the following segment of enjoyment and an escape from reality. But beware, the show you are about to bear witness to will not hold back when it comes to spoilers, language, and things not appropriate for work or children. If you continue on, we hope that you laugh at the banter, that you are thrilled by the topic of discussion, and marvel at the host's dedication to their craft, because you can only get that type of treatment here at Monster Madness. You have been warned.
I feel funny about being here. What if the people who own this place come home?
They're not gonna come back. Even if they do, we'll tell them that the car broke down or something like that.
With your car, they'd believe it.
Hey, what do you say we have some champagne, huh, baby? Huh?
Sure.
After all, I'm a man and you're a woman. At least last time I checked.
Okay.
Hi, hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Monster Madness, a podcast dedicated to all sorts of creatures, features, and beyond. I am one of your amazing hosts. You can call me Erika, and joining with me, as always, is my partner in crime, Matthew. Hi, Matt.
I was gonna make a reference. So there's a local car dealer here. It's 1-800-ride.com, I believe. And all the commercials are annoying as fuck. And the guy just goes, a dealer for the people. So when you're talking about the podcast, I want to be like, it's a podcast for the people.
I'm going to change the whole intro now.
Well, that's fine. But then I realized that I had to explain it, and it becomes far less funny unless you're local to this area of Wisconsin, which I doubt you are.
I'm not, but I still really enjoyed that.
No, I'm glad you did. Usually you yell at me because I'm not jovial enough in my introductions. So here we are.
Well, it is the season of love right now. So
I did have a heart-shaped Reese's peanut butter snack earlier today.
Look at you.
In my car away from my wife who's allergic to nuts. Except these nuts. I had to. You were going to make a comment. I just was getting out ahead of that one.
I know. I understood what went down. Before we jump into this week's show and to hear more about Matt's nuts, a few plugs. You can find Monster Madness on all your favorite podcasting platforms, social media sites, and things of that nature. Matt does stream video games and drum sessions from time to time, so you can check that out on our Twitch channel. If you'd like to support this show, you can do that in many different ways, such as Patreon, buying merch, or simply leaving us a review on your favorite podcasting provider. Those 5 stars go a long way, and if you decide to write something, we will read it on the show. All the links for the aforementioned things will be posted in our show notes. Matt, you got anything? You got anything you want to say? Not fuck bitches get money?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really want Taco Bell. I haven't had Taco Bell in a while. Saw a Taco Bell bag in the street when I was driving home earlier today. Made me want Taco Bell.
I wanted Taco Bell until my local Taco Bell wanted to charge me $6 for a cheesy gordita crunch. I don't want it that bad. I'll just make it myself. It's just fucking ranch.
Did we talk about this?
We did a few weeks ago.
Okay, so I was like, I feel like this was a while ago because I remember looking up the price of a cheesy gordita crunch here, and it wasn't that far off.
It was like $4 or $5.
And now Baja Blast is back in stores, so Taco Bell is lowering its need for existence in my life.
Can I be honest with you? I don't know how this is going to affect our friendship.
It's not. You don't like Baja Blast, that's fine.
No, I've never had a Baja Blast.
Oh, well, that's either way. You can go to your, I believe Wawa would probably carry it. Quick Trips have it here. Quick Trips are superior, but
I think I might venture out.
But also, there's that guy on Instagram who is quickly annoying the fuck out of me, who gives all the recipes for stuff. He explained how to make Baja Blast, and I think it's just like fucking Mountain Dew, Blue Powerade, and Sprite or something.
Mm-hmm. I saw that
so
video.
It's like you could always just make your own if you wanted to, but
Jordan the Stallion.
Yes, via. Come here. I'll fucking slap you.
That again, we're already airing grievances.
Mm-hmm.
Shticks are funny, but we live in such an oversaturated age that it's just too much. Like, you can tell me all the recipes for shit, and you can I like his breakdown of stuff, but I'm really tired of the come here really quick. And then every time he bites into something, it's just like, oh, like fucking orgasmic. Like, I get it, bro. I get it.
That annoys me. The fact that he seems to make it sound like every time he goes everywhere, everyone knows who he is. Maybe it happens once in a while, but are you really checking out at Costco and someone's like, I hope the guy on the internet doesn't give the recipe to the macaroni and cheese away. Come here. I'm going to give you the roast pig Michael Tree. Fuck you, dude. The other thing, like I'd made a comment to you when you were giving me shit for not being happier. I can't look at you because I don't want to start chuckling too, but you're giving me shit for not doing a better intro, and it's like I wanted that guy who has those the videos that are like clipped together comments that are things that make you think, and none of them come to mind, but it's a big dude, and it's exactly, and it's like that. At first I was like, that's kind of funny, and now I'm just like, just make the fucking comment. Or it's like he gets done and then he dry heaves or whatever, and I'm like, okay. I just
That one I still really enjoy. That one hasn't gotten old for me when he's like, "Hey, hey, hey.
I don't
If a
hate it
tree falls
either.
down in the forest, does it make a sound?"
Like, so he is far less annoying than, but here's the thing is, for us thinking that dude whose name I can't think of is less annoying,
I have
people
no
find
idea.
that Jordan guy less annoying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's whatever. That's fucking someone's gonna say something about this.
Yeah, I'm sure. Whatever. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Well, on this week's episode of Monster Madness, we are going to chat about the 1987 cult classic Evil Dead 2.
Legend has it that it was written by the Dark Ones, Necronomicon Ex Mortis. Roughly translated, Book of the Dead. The book served as a passageway to the evil worlds beyond. It was written long ago, when the seas ran red with blood. It was this blood that was used to ink the book. In the year 1300 AD, the book disappeared.
Oh man, I love that guy.
Don't forget that it's called Dead by Dawn also. Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn, which comes into play later in the movie when all the Deadites are screaming Dead by Dawn at him.
You just sandbagged me. I did not know that, and I did research on the
really?
film. Yeah. Look
Fair
at
enough.
you.
This is the first time that I watched this movie start to finish. We can get into it later, but it ended up being different than I thought it would in a good way. So
Oh, good. Look at
yeah.
you.
Yep. So I guess the next question you're going to ask me is for the budget.
No, not even close. Not even close.
Fuck. Well, cut that out.
God, never.
Okay.
Well, I did want to make a correction before I got into anything, because in the last episode I talked about how in Evil Dead 2 they basically like recapped. I actually did I have corrected a lot of things. I have since watched Army of Darkness. Fucking loved it. That was the movie that had the recap. Evil Dead 2. Yeah, because I said in the last episode, I was like, oh yeah, in Evil Dead 2, they basically recap Evil Dead 1 in like 15 minutes. No, I was wrong.
Yes, because I remember I turned Evil Dead 2 on and there was no recap.
Yeah,
I remembered you
lied.
making the comment about which is whatever. I just didn't think anything of it, but there was kind of a rehashing of the first one before. I guess jump ahead a little bit, but it's before Ash leaves. Like there's a scene that you could take as being a recapping of the first one. I assume that's what you were getting at, but
yeah,
anyway.
it wasn't as dramatic as I thought. It was the recap that's in the beginning of Army of Darkness that recaps all the events, and yeah, they basically just redid Evil Dead with Evil Dead 2 because they're like, we can do it better. But I digress. Which apparently there is a beer called I Digress.
Yep, from Black Stack Brewing in Minneapolis. I didn't go get one today because I was supposed to get a box of beer in the mail. That was going to get me through the snowstorm. Now I'm going to go thirsty.
Do you think that anyone has ever stolen your packages of booze?
100%. Remember when I mailed you a bunch of beer in a glass and the only thing that showed up was the glass?
Oh my God, yeah, that's right. It did happen to us.
Yeah, I've had a couple packages. I was telling the guy who sent me this one, I had sent a bunch of beer in a computer to Kansas, my buddy James, and something exploded, and whoever got it there took out all the good beer, repackaged it, and sent the computer and the good beer back to me. The postal service doesn't give a fuck.
No, they don't. And what you're doing is not necessarily legal, so they can't really, you can't really
It's
be like, "Motherfucker stole my olive oil."
exactly exactly. It does fall under the bootlegging laws. It is legal to ship liquid. It is not legal to ship alcohol without permits.
Maybe we
But yeah,
shouldn't be talking about this on the internet.
there are. I mean, it's not as much as it was, but there are countless groups of people that just ship beer. I started out on Reddit doing beer trades, like long time ago.
But that's not the only thing you did. So Evil Dead 2 premiered on March 13th, 1987 in the US. It has a runtime of 1 hour, 24 minutes, and it is rated R. While this is certainly a comedy, it can definitely fall into more of the horror genre, too, depending on who you are and what scares you. Like, when I was watching this, there are some pretty unsettling parts that if I was, like a 12-year-old watching this, I'd be like, "What the fuck?" I would not be laughing necessarily.
Yeah, the way that some of the things were shot were kind of comedic.
Yeah.
And then some of like the prosthetics and stuff were a little on the more the goofier side, but it's in line with Army of Darkness. I haven't seen the original Evil Dead in a while, so it'd be hard for me to exactly remember what the Deadites looked like in that one.
Well, I watched them back to back because I wanted to make sure I could have the reference because I actually do my job. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The one Deadite, I think it was the mom when she has like the elongated neck,
Mhm.
is almost identical from the first one. That's the only one
Okay.
that really sticks out to me because it was like super creepy. I would say, I mean, they obviously did a lot way better job in the second one than they did the first one. The first one, the makeup was, not the best. I mean, it was extremely low budget, so you can't really expect much. The only thing with the first one was that it was definitely more graphic, and they definitely leaned into the horror part of it way more. Like they were not trying to be funny. Like there's a sexual assault with a tree branch and stuff like that that I remembered before I even watched it. I was like, oof, they did not do that in the second one. If yeah, no, they did do the tree branch attack, but they left out her getting, that was yeah, because I didn't even realize because I did do some research on the first one while watching it and then subsequently watching the second one. It was NC-17, the first one, the version I watched at least, and I can
No
understand why.
shit. Yeah.
Again, it always really shocks me that because the next part is who directed it, and Sam Raimi directed Evil Dead
Mhm.
1, Evil Dead 2, and the Army of Darkness, and so forth. This man directed Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man. Like, it's just like
Yeah.
I don't see a single similarity. If you told me that they were the same director, I would not believe you, but, whatever. Writing credits are also Sam Raimi and Scott Spiegel. It's produced by Bruce Campbell, Alex D. Benedetti, Irvin Shapiro, and Rob Tappert. The music is by Joseph Loduca. Cinematography by Peter Deming. Production company is Renaissance Pictures, and it is distributed by Rosebud Releasing Corporation as well as De Laurentiis Entertainment Group. Fun little minutia early for you guys. Those two are the same company, but we'll get into that later, why they're named two different things. The cast is as followed: Bruce Campbell, Sarah Berry, Dan Hicks, Cassie Wesley DePavier, Tag Ramey, Denise Bickler, Richard Domier, John Peaks, and Lou Hancock. I'm sure there's more, but that's all I have for you. Some taglines is pleasure, please. There's only one movie scarier than The Evil Dead. Kiss your nerves goodbye. Too terrifying, too frightening, too much.
Too fast for y'all.
Too fast, too furious. Oh, RIP. The comedy slash horror of the decade. Get it? They literally put in parentheses, pun, decade, because some people aren't gonna get it. And finally, the sequel to the ultimate experience in grueling terror. Not the
None of
best.
them are great, but
No. I do like the pun one though.
that was the best one. That is the most in line with the feeling of the movie, I guess.
I'm actually shocked one wasn't like groovy.
I don't think that whole thing really took off until Army of Darkness. Like, I think it was just a line and that it ended up being a thing, which I'm sure you understand, but
Oh yeah.
because I didn't even realize that he said groovy in this movie. I thought it was first said in Army of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's the budget, Matt, since you're prepared finally?
once in a while, shit happens. The budget is $3.5 million.
Oh, damn. Okay, that was...
Yeah. I got to look up the budget of the first one. So equating that to today money, that's $9.5 million.
Still not a lot.
Well, the first one had a budget of $375,000. So in comparison, you're just short of 10 times the budget.
All right.
Yeah, and then it made 5.9 million, which I did the calculation that it's getting the best of me. 16.1 million is what it would have grossed today, which is horrible for a movie, but
Yeah.
not awful. Like that's good. I was gonna say it doubled it, but I'm not great at math. It's not quite doubled.
If you're good at math, if you're good at math, you know the answer. Neither one of us are good at that. So take our word for it.
Yep.
All right. Well, with all of that, like fun little facts, Matt, are you going to read the plot? Since this was your first time viewing, so I think you should do the honors. I can't tell if you froze or you just fucking what
I just
an
started
asshole.
Yeah, sorry. All right. Ash Williams and his girlfriend Linda take a romantic vacation to a seemingly abandoned cabin in the woods. While in the cabin, Ash plays a tape of archaeologist Rickman Noby, the cabin's previous inhabitant, reciting passages from the Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, which he has discovered during an archaeological dig. The recorded incantation unleashes an evil force also known as the Kandarian demon that kills and later possesses Linda, turning her into a deadite. Ash is then forced to decapitate her with a shovel and bury her in the shallow grave near the cabin. At dawn, the evil force throws Ash through the woods. He briefly becomes possessed by the demon, but when the day breaks, he is inexplicably returned to normal. So this. I guess this whole chunk is kind of what you could argue as being a recap of the first, because he's back at the cabin. He's with a girl. I'm not 100% sure if Linda's also in the first one. I would be hard pressed to believe she isn't, name wise at least. But so that's kind of what when you said there was a recap, that's what I assumed that you were referencing.
Ish, yeah, because like in the original, it's a group of it's like Ash, Linda, and I think 2 or 3 other people that go to the cabin, and that's when the stuff ensues. So the difference is they cut it down to just a romantic getaway, and then had other people come in later, an excuse to come to the cabin.
Yeah, because they find the Necronomicon in the original one, correct?
Yes.
And he starts reading it. It's not.
So they definitely took things that not necessarily didn't make sense in the first one, but like they just enriched it within the second one. It's like, okay, yeah, they could read it out loud, but who's to say that they're actually pronouncing all this stuff correctly and all that stuff? But if you have a professional who's translating it and they're just listening to a recording as he's kind of like snooping through this cabin and it unleashes the demons, that's smarter.
Which, now having seen this, sheds a lot of light. Spoiler alerts if you haven't seen Evil Dead Rise, but the kid with the record, you've seen Evil Dead Rise, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I didn't want to ruin anything for you, but the kid finds a record and plays it, and it's someone reading the incantation, and that's how the whole thing starts. So there's similarities between Evil Dead Rise and then Evil Dead 2. So that was kind of nifty.
Mm-hmm.
He attempts to flee the area, but finds that the bridge to the cabin has been destroyed. Spirit chases him back to the cabin, where Linda's revived head attacks him, bites his hand. He runs to the shed, where her headless body attacks him with a chainsaw, but he overpowers and slashes the deadite Linda to death. His right hand becomes possessed and tries to kill him, as he severs it with the chainsaw before attempting to shoot it with a shotgun, but the hand mocks him and ultimately escapes. Meanwhile, Noby's daughter Annie and her research partner Ed Getley return from the dig with the missing pages of the Necronomicon, only to find the bridge destroyed. They enlist repairman Jake and his girlfriend Baba Joe to show them another route to the cabin, where they find an embattled Ash covered in blood. Thinking that he murdered Annie's parents, Annie and the others lock him in the cellar. The 4 new arrivals listen to the rest of Noby's recording, detailing how his wife Henrietta was possessed by the Kandarian demon and that he killed her and buried her in the cellar. Henrietta, now a deadite, which Henrietta is the one that we were talking about with the fucking neck. That
Long
looks the
ass,
same as the
yeah.
first. Yep. Henrietta, now a deadite, possesses Ed. Ash dismembers him with an axe. Baba Joe tries to escape, but demonically possessed trees attack and drag her to her death. Annie translates two of the Necronomicon's pages before Jake turns on them and throws the pages into the cellar, forcing them at gunpoint to find Baba Joe. Ash becomes... that is period there, not a comma.
God damn it.
Shit! Ash becomes possessed once again and attacks Jake. Annie retreats to the cabin, accidentally stabs Jake, mistaking him for the possessed Ash before Henrietta kills him. Deadite Ash tries to kill Annie, but returns to his normal self upon seeing Linda's necklace. With Annie's help, Ash modifies the chainsaw, attaches it to the stump of his right arm, and cuts the shotgun barrels. After finding the missing pages of the Necronomicon in the cellar, Ash kills Henrietta. Trees outside begin to destroy the cabin. Annie reveals that she has only read the first half of the incantation and attempts to finish the second half. Typical woman, not finishing what she started. I had to. As she reads it, Ash's severed hand uses a Kandarian dagger to stab her in the back. She manages to complete the incantation before succumbing to her wound. Incantation opens up a whirling temporal vortex, which not only draws in the demon, but also Ash and his Oldsmobile Delta 88. You look like you're about to say something.
I had a comment, and I can't say it now. It's too far away. I was going to be like, typical man, finishing too quickly. Fuck you.
It still works, and you're not wrong.
Okay, thank you. I feel better.
No, yeah, that was a great line. I'm sorry I cut you off.
Vindication. R.I.P.
Vindication.
Ash and his Oldsmobile land in the Middle Ages. A group of knights confront him and initially mistake him for a deadite, but are quickly distracted when a real harpy-like deadite appears. Ash blasts it with a shotgun. They hail him as a hero who has come to save them, causing him to break down and scream in anguish. Okay, so that's the synopsis of the whole movie. And the one comment I want to make is that I fucked up by not seeing this before at Army of Darkness, because so much makes so much more sense having seen the end of this movie going into Army of Darkness.
Yeah, it's definitely because I watched all three in a day while I had to do like house stuff, like mainly just a shit ton of laundry, taking down just a bunch of stuff like around the house and just cleaning in my living room. And I just just in concession, just watched them. And it was just so it's such a fucking enjoyable trilogy, even though like you don't have to watch the first one at this point because they're just like, whatever. It's still cool. But
have you watched Ash vs. Evil Dead?
I started. I'm like 2 episodes in, and I really enjoy it. Bruce
Campbell's fucking incredible. But if you weren't aware, so Ash vs. Evil Dead was supposed to be the 4th movie, and then all of a sudden they had like 700 pages. And they're like, I guess it's a TV show now.
There you go. I love it. Is that like still running, or is it done?
No, it's been done for a while.
Okay.
I think there's 3 seasons, 3 maybe 4.
I think so, because I piggyback on Jackie and Andrew's Plex because they have it. I was like, okay, cool. I don't have to download it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I could have done it for you.
Why no?
Kind of want to rewatch it after watching this, but also I was supposed to start Shameless while she was gone, and I have not.
Like, start it from the beginning? Like, you've never seen it?
I've seen the first couple seasons. I don't remember where I stopped. That's the thing. Like, I know it's a fucking super duper dark and depraved show, so I'm kind of like,
Just, it gets really old. It's like, how fucked up can this family possibly be? Yeah, I understand, like, this stuff can happen in reality and, like, the cycles and all this other stuff, but for me, they lost me, like, after, like, 3 or 4 seasons. I was just really tired of Fiona always having to take care of everybody. Frank, coming and going. You think he's gonna be a good guy, then he, like, steals all the money. He's a scumbag alcoholic again. Someone's having a baby, blah, 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 blah. One of them's in a mental institution. Someone's in jail. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and I think that's why I stopped the first time around, is because it's just like the same shit over and over. And the whole reason that I had Dylan asked for it.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't listen to this, so I can talk shit, but he does it all the time. He's like, oh, I didn't want to watch this show. And then I download it, and then it just fucking sits there.
Yeah.
So eventually I'll just get rid of it because I do not think I'll ever fucking finish it or start it again.
I have 0 interest. And so many people love that show because, like, obviously Jeremy Allen White is now, like, the fucking man's man all over the fucking place, where I don't understand. I haven't seen The Bear. I'll watch it. I'm very much If you know me at all, I am very much the person that, like, I will watch shit when hype has died the fuck down. I'll play something when the hype has died down. It is rare that I'm like a immediate buy, immediate watch type person, unless it's something that I'm extremely interested in.
Same.
The Bear was just like, I was like, okay, great. The only thing that like piques my interest is the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis is in it at some point, and I was like, okay, I absolutely love her. So yeah, anyway, but Jeremy Allen White, everybody was obsessed. I remember when people started watching Shameless, all my girlfriends were like really obsessed with him. They're like, "Oh my god, Lip is so cute." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, he is very ugly. I don't understand.
He's an acquired taste, but there's the younger brother that ended up being in the Star Wars game and shit.
Which I'm playing right now, which is fucking so fun.
First one or the second one?
I just beat the first one. I'm like halfway through the second one.
I fucking love the first one. I'm waiting for the second one to get cheap, but then also I bought a Quest, so I'm just playing that instead of my Xbox.
Okay, so if you had any gripes with the first one, like in the gameplay at all, it gets addressed, and the second one is so much better.
I literally only played it because someone had a physical copy and let me borrow it. So I had no expectations going into it whatsoever. I have no complaints. It was a fun game. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, so it was like,
Oh yeah,
I expected nothing out of it, and it was a good time.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I just had issues with like the map layout and like some of the fighting techniques and just the constant having to run from point A to point B and going backwards and all this stuff. This doesn't spoil anything. The second game, your just fighting is more fluid, the map is significantly better, and you get fast travel. So it's nice.
It got annoying going backtracking quite a bit, but it was not a big deal to me. But I could see how people would find it annoying.
Yeah. So to get back to the movie. Event I've been listening to us a lot, obviously, lately. We are 2 individuals clearly with ADHD because the way that we just fucking ramble about shit.
Right, but isn't that why people like us?
I hope so.
As long as I'm not giving out ravioli recipes.
I'm so happy you said it.
The scream raviolis look like a fucking incredible amount of work.
Well, okay, at the time of recording this, I had just finished editing Saturday the 14th because we record these in advance, as you know. And I have the greatest sound effect when you say the word ravioli now. I'm not going to spoil it. You're going to have to wait quite a while. You're going to have to wait until to hear it. But I laughed really hard because it's really obnoxious and it's kind of long, but it's going to be worth it. Namaste. So delicious. Here's the thing. Even though I'm not like a huge fan of him anymore, I have a very Kevin Smith mentality. I make this show basically for me.
Mhm.
If other people find it enjoyable, that's a bonus. I get to talk to my best friend about bullshit and record it, and then the internet gets to hear it. I mean, not all of it, because some of it.
We do cut
But
things. Erica cuts things out. I don't do shit.
I just show up. No, you're recording this right now. You're doing that.
Yeah. You do the hard work. You do the stuff that I refuse to do in podcasts, which is editing.
I enjoy the editing though, for the most part.
I hate listening to myself talk. I think I sound like a dumbass, and I know that I say a lot of stupid shit without thinking. So to have it replayed via recording to remind me of the dumb shit that I say is not always the most beneficial.
For my self-esteem.
Yeah.
Either which way, to just get back to the point. So, in this scenario, say that you and Alyssa have a weekend getaway, and all of a sudden, the events of this movie start to unfold. What is your plan of action? Say you're trying to schmooze your wife, give her the bedroom eyes. She's trying to avoid that and busying herself, so she starts playing a record, and it starts, necromancing, and she unleashes hell. Because let's just blame her because she's not here. What do you do if the Linda scenario happens to Alyssa? Do you lob her head off and then, like, watch her corpse dance in the fucking woods? Too dark? Is that too dark?
No, not at all. I'm trying to think of what I would actually do.
This is fight or flight.
I know. I'm pretty sure you'd never catch Alyssa trying to put a record on. So there's that hole in your story. The first part where I'm trying to give her 3 inches of fury is a daily occurrence. I'd have to assume that I would attempt to kill her. Well, it's like if it's a me, she's already dead. Her life's over. So why ruin both of our lives?
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Are you cutting your possessed hand off?
No. Is it my right hand?
It's well, was it Ash's
It was
dominant hand?
I'm not going with well, I guess it would be dominant hand. Okay, so yeah, if it was my dominant hand, maybe not, because then it's like someone else is giving me a handy.
Silver lining. I like how you're finding the silver lining.
Yeah, and then if I accidentally like grab a boob in public, I just be like, sorry, it's possessed.
It's like Idle Hand. Have you ever seen that movie, Idle Hand?
Yes, I have.
I love that fucking movie. Devin Sawa for president.
Yeah.
What do you do? Let's just go in further into this psyche. What do you do if the demon goes into your dick? Do you cut off your dick?
I don't know. Like, I guess it would depend on what it's doing. Like, what adverse effects are a result of the demon possessing an appendage?
Your dick's just hard all the time.
That's literally no different than right now.
But it has like a demon, like it has like an ash demon. What the fuck? Oh my god, deadite face.
My boy muscle is dusty all the time.
No. Okay, imagine. Remember when in Beetlejuice, when Beetlejuice turns into the snake and it's his face? That's your dick.
Ooh, well, no one's touching it, so.
But it's trying to like bite you. What if like it's like fucking like biting your stomach like a goddamn snake? Fucking, you have like just bite marks on your thighs. Stop.
Yeah, I mean, if it's really no longer of any use, and it's trying to physically harm me, it's gotta go. You know what I mean?
I like how you decided that quicker than you're like, I'm not cutting off my hand.
Well, but it would be kind of the same thing. Like what it would really boil down to, because the bit with the hand was that I could jerk off with a demon hand. But if it's causing bodily harm, or it's obviously not going to benefit me, but if it's making things difficult, then it's got to go. You can get prosthetics. If I cut my dick off, the balls would have to go too, because the balls are where the pee's stored. So without those, it would just make no sense. That's a weird one. Or I go to a Catholic church, whip it out, and say, "Exorcise this demon!" And then I'm too old, so the priest would inherently not be turned on. Sorry, Catholics.
He'd actually do his job.
Yeah. Oh, no, that job. Okay.
Yeah. What the fuck does he say in The Exorcist? Or what does she say to fucking, why you do this to me, Damie? Like she's fucking, your dick just starts talking.
Yeah, well, yeah, naturally.
Of course. I think I just came up with the plot of fucking Evil Dead 5. Call me Sam.
No, you came up with Evil Dead, a XXX parody.
I'm not... I don't want you to use it. I'm just saying that's a hilarious bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could use it in an Evil Dead movie.
Take it as the perspective of the demon. What is gonna fuck with a dude the most? His dick. I don't give a shit about hands.
That is a good point. That's actually a really good point. But without the hand, like he's a chainsaw, yada yada, et cetera. But yeah, no, that would be.
But yeah, no, I would cut everything off immediately. But here's the thing: if it's me in this scenario and my partner is like press and play on anything, I'm smashing it against the wall. I have salt with me at all times. Put a ring of salt around me. But I'm also not going into some abandoned cabin for a getaway. I've heard, like, people have asked me before in the past, like, oh, do you want to go camping? Are you like a camper? And I was like, yeah, if there's indoor plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and I can just walk outside. I'm a glamper. Like, I am 1000% not sleeping on the fucking ground. I'm not sleeping on a cot. I'm sleeping in a cushy bed with down pillows. I don't like I love the dark, but I hate nature. Like no, that's not true. I love nature. But
Let's say you asked us to come out and go hunt the Jersey Devil with you in the fucking woods, and now you're telling me you hate the fucking woods?
well, here's the thing. That was more of like I need strength in numbers and to like push people in front of me when fucking the demon comes at me. Boom.
Thanks. So I was just a sacrificial lamb.
100%. I'm taking a fucking stick and whacking you behind the knees and then running for my life.
That hurts.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it will hurt when I hit you in the back of the knees.
Your words are hurtful, Brian Arakbo.
Oh, shit. All right. With that, let's go to some monster minutiaes.
Hey, there's a tape recorder here.
See what's on it.
This is Professor Raymond Noby, Department of Ancient History, log entry number 2. I believe I have made a significant find in the castle of Kandar. Having journeyed there with my wife Henrietta, my daughter Annie, and Associate Professor Ed Gedley. It was in the rear chamber of the castle that we stumbled upon something remarkable. Naturam de Monto, the Book of the Dead. My wife and I brought the book to this cabin, where I could study it undisturbed. It was here that I began the translations. The book speaks of a spiritual presence, a thing of evil that roams the forests and the dark bowers of man's domain. It is through the recitation of the book's passages that this dark spirit is given license to possess the living. Recorded here are the phonetic pronunciations of those passages. Kanda, Estrata, Amantos,
Iagrex, Gut, Nosferatus, Kanda, Amantos, Kanda.
Linda?
So fun. There, like right off the bat, the first one that I read, I was kind of very surprised about since we talked about him in such length last episode. Well, his kid anyway. Stephen King was such a huge fan of the original Evil Dead that he convinced producer Dino De Laurentiis over dinner, who was producing King's Maximum Overdrive at the time, to have his production company, DEG, finance Evil Dead 2. During the scene where the severed head of Linda bites Ash's hand, Bruce Campbell says the single line, "Workshed." This line was later redubbed in post-production due to the quality of the audio, giving it a strange, slightly disproportionate sound to the audio. 9 years later, while filming his cameo in Escape from LA, the first thing Kurt Russell said to Bruce Campbell on the set, jokingly, was, "Say workshed." Gotta love a troll, man. Gotta love a troll. Although the cabin is supposed to be the same as the one from The Evil Dead, that movie was shot in Morristown, Tennessee. The sequel was filmed nearly 270 miles to the east in Wadesboro, North Carolina. Most of the film was shot on a set built inside the gymnasium of Wadesboro J.R. Faison Junior High School. Financier Dino De Laurentiis had originally offered his studio in Wilmington, but director Sam Raimi chose Wadesboro, a 3-hour drive away, fearing that being so close to De Laurentiis' office would lead to studio interference. It's pretty smart on his part, because no studio exec is driving 3 hours to check in, especially in the 80s. They're just like,
Fuck no.
do what you need to do, brother. Oh, here we go. Where I was mentioning earlier about the two production companies, Rosebud, the supposed film production company, was not a real institution. Producer Dino De Laurentiis was forbidden to release an unrated movie through his own company, so Rosebud was created specifically for the purposes of releasing Evil Dead 2. This film is Bruce Campbell's favorite of the trilogy. The large demonic head Ash battles in the climax of the film, which the crew nicknamed the Rotten Apple Head, was too large and cumbersome for the crew to carry back to California, so it was left in North Carolina and soon disappeared. Its whereabouts were unknown for a number of years until it was found in a Halloween haunted house attraction just outside the original shooting location. Bruce Campbell completely improvised the scene where he fights his possessed hand in the kitchen of the cabin. Sam Raimi praised his performance and used the first take for the film. The recap of Evil Dead includes the same shot where the evil force runs through the forest and cabin, then rams into Ash. Bruce Campbell claimed to have suffered a broken jaw while filming the scene when Sam Raimi, who was operating the camera that was mounted onto a bicycle or motorcycle, That's a big fucking difference if they don't know the distinction. They're like, it was either a bike or it was a motorcycle.
Some sort of cycle.
Yeah, it came at him fast and crashed into him. First of all, the story was supposedly happened during the making of the first movie, not the sequel. Secondly, apparently the story was concocted by Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell as a gag to see how many people would believe it actually happened. In reality, it was Raimi running through the forest and cabin with the camera mounted on his head while crew members pulled the doors open with ropes. The similar scene in Evil Dead 2 was most likely filmed the same way. So they just fucking trolled me in the fucking trivia while I was reading it.
Gotcha good.
They did. They sure did. Finally, this will be the last minutia. The actors were completely blind when they had to wear opaque contact lenses when they were playing possessed versions of their character. The only way they knew how and where to move was through rigorous rehearsals. I dig it, man. I dig these fun little facts about movies. It makes watching it a lot more like in depth to me. So like the next time I watch it, because some of them I didn't know, sometimes I just copy and paste it. You know how it goes. I like to be surprised when we film sometimes, or not film, when we record sometimes. Now that I know that they can't fucking see, they're just that would be stressful to me, especially like the scene where Ash is like in water, like constantly putting his head in water and then like running through the forest and like kind of fucking around near like that kind of relatively deep puddle. I would not be comfortable being blind. That's just me. I also just wouldn't be comfortable being blind at all.
Yeah, no, I really like my ability to see.
A minutia about me, I was blind for like 6 weeks once. 4 weeks. Yeah, I had a cornea accident when I was in kindergarten or first grade, and I had to wear an eye patch on one eye. Like my cornea was completely ripped out of my eye from a. Are you laughing? Are you fucking laughing?
Erika.
Not a single person did that to me.
Fuck everyone you know. They're not funny. That's great. You're a fucking pirate.
They're fucking compassionate. Yeah, I got hit in the eye with a remote control and it ripped out the cornea of my eye. I had to wear an eye patch and the pain was so intense, like it basically fused my other eye shut. Like I just couldn't open it. And then eventually, when it healed, I regained my vision. And then a couple years later, fucking shit happened again in my eye. I got a fucking paper cut in it. That sucked ass.
Doctor said I'm not supposed to get anything else in my eye.
Yeah, my fucking dip fuck brother who caused the first accident, he was reading a magazine. I leaned over to see what he was reading and he fucking whipped the page and it sliced a bitch. That hurt. Yeah, that hurt really bad.
Huh.
The doctor said there isn't any permanent damage though. Well, do you have anything else you'd like to add about the movie before we get to Yene Osle?
No.
Jesus, do you have fleas or something?
What's that?
Do you have fleas?
No, I didn't use conditioner when I washed my beard today, and it's now itchy.
Oh, do you use like beard oil and stuff?
No, because most of them have coconut oil or things that would murder my wife, or at least I shouldn't. It's not gonna kill her, but it'll probably make things uncomfortable. And I like to rub my beard on her.
I mean, they say the perfect crime doesn't exist, but
yeah, but we're recording this. So.
If you're a beneficiary,
I just put a peanut in her shampoo bottle.
Just a solid peanut.
She said that one time. I can't remember what we were talking about, and she just goes, "Are you gonna put a peanut in my shampoo?" I'm like, "That's a fucking great idea."
Can you just imagine? She's just fucking, and just a fucking solid peanut, not ground up, not so like it washes and gets into pores or anything. Just a fucking like what the fuck? Amazing.
I would never do that to her today.
I know. Is she? I don't know if I have probably asked this question, but like, is she can't even be in the room with like peanut products?
If there's a lot, like we can't go to Texas Roadhouse, and the pre-pandemic we couldn't go to Texas Roadhouse because of the peanut dust. I don't think you can eat peanuts and throw them on the floor anymore, so I don't think it'd be quite as bad. But We don't go.
Yeah, I mean, I was there
I
maybe like 10 years ago, and they had fucking nutshells all over the place. I was like, "What the fuck is this trash place?"
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
I got drunk
Like
as shit though.
that doesn't surprise me. I've had peanuts in the house, and it's not a problem. But like, I keep them somewhere she can't get to. Not that I think she's gonna accidentally eat a peanut, but they're usually stowed away, and then I eat them when she's traveling. Um, and then I just run everything through the dishwasher. So it's like it's not the absolute worst, but it could be a problem.
What are these
Why?
peanuts?
Pain notes?
These look good.
Yeah, I'd like to try these pain notes.
Oh shit. Anyway, Alyssa, we love you. We know you don't listen, but just I
Nope.
want the vibes to be out there.
No,
Nobody's
for
putting
sure.
peanuts in your in your
No,
shampoo.
absolutely not. I love my wife very, very much most days. I shouldn't say that. I always love my wife. I don't always like my wife, but that's
I think that's a good
most
distinction.
relationships.
Because like you can love someone, but there can be days where you just don't like them.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a two-way street. I'm sure there are days she does, and we've had this conversation. She said the same thing to me. She goes, I always love you, but I don't always like you.
That's so sweet.
Can't bat 1,000. You can't be married to someone for 12 years and not piss them off. Like people who say they don't fight are fucking liars.
I don't think that I think that's odd if you don't fight.
I think it's odd if you don't, and that doesn't have to be like a knockdown drag out fight, but you're going to have disagreements and you're going to probably get a little heated.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So yeah.
Yeah, like I think like tiffs, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like not full on like fuck you, blah, 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 like nothing like that. But
I think we've maybe had 2 of those in 15 years.
I think that's pretty solid.
Yeah, that's not the end of the world, and it's normally like we separate and then we talk about it. The one thing I will say to her, and I don't always have the easiest time with it, but she's like, even if we're fighting, I don't want you to sleep in a different room.
Yeah.
It's like I have a hard time fucking going in because she goes to bed before I do 98% of the time. Yeah, so I have to go in there all fucking pissed off and then roll over and put my back to her and try to be angry.
And angrily take off your socks.
Yeah, usually Wicket's in there too, so I'm like, yeah, it's just a whole thing.
You would think honestly it would be the other way around, but it's not, and I really, really thoroughly enjoy that. You just fucking
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Anyway.
Yep. Yay, Nair's playtime.
It is. It really is. So for me, obviously, this is a yay. I fucking love this movie. I love Bruce Campbell. I love everything about these movies. I want to go back and watch them. Like I instantly want to rewatch them again and toss in Evil Dead Rises in there. And honestly, we didn't mention it at all, but a really quick sidebar is the remake is actually fucking great. I loved the remake because it's not there's no humor in the remake. That I think it came out in 2013. I know I might my years might be off on that one, but it's good. And that's
2013.
something God, I'm good. Um there are very few remakes of horror movies that I tip my hat to. I have one that most people hate, that I enjoyed from the first time I saw it, that I haven't seen it since the first time I saw it. Like, I didn't despise the remake of, like, Nightmare on Elm Street, but I know a lot of people had an issue with it, but I would have to revisit it. But I fully know that I loved the remake of Evil Dead. Like, it was fucking creepy and unsettling and violent and all the things that you want in a horror movie. But yeah, I mean, on the whole, Evil Dead, the franchise, everything that I've consumed from this franchise, I have thoroughly enjoyed without complaint. So, yay, watch it, enjoy it. They're good. If you don't like gore, if you don't like grotesque things, it's not for you. But if you can stomach those things and you like a couple yucks along the way, definitely watch them. If you just want mainly yucks, I would say Army of Darkness. What about you, Matt?
Yes.
I knew it. I knew it was going to be yes.
I mean, yeah. So having seen it for the first time, it's obviously fucking great. I don't think you should skip the first one. You should watch the first one and then graduate to seeing the comedic side of what Army of Dark or what Evil Dead became. But to your point, it is like it's so weird because the remakes, which are still actively coming out, while the TV show's still kind of fresh, where they have a completely different tone, and it's kind of like Halloween where there's 15 fucking timelines or Terminator. So as long as you can keep those, but keep them straight, but also keep them separated because they in their own right are incredible, but also as a whole are also incredible.
The one thing I in my search for answers, and I'll be very, very transparent. I didn't like look at that deep because I'm sure I could find the answer, but I just don't get why they called it Evil Dead 2. Like, I understand it's the second Evil Dead, but it's
Especially when Army of Darkness is not Evil Dead 3 Army of Darkness. Like, I did Google while we were thinking about this because for some reason I kept thinking that it was Ash versus the Army of Darkness. It's not. It's just Army of Darkness because you know Ash versus Evil Dead, which whatever. And who really fucking cares? But they could have called it Dead by Dawn, but I don't know. Get Sam Raimi on the horn.
I think that, like, in my personal opinion, like, I have no issue with it being called Evil Dead 2. It's just, like, slightly confusing. I mean, I think possibly they just want to make sure that the original is watched. So it's like, oh, if you see that something is Evil Dead 2, surely you need to watch Evil Dead 1 to understand what's going on. But I think it would have just been smarter to I don't know. I don't know what the right answer would be. I mean, they obviously made their decision almost 30 years. Wait. God. Over 30 years ago.
40 81, so 42 the original.
Oh, I was saying for the second one. But
36 almost coming up to 36. I keep forgetting it's 2024.
Me too. Yeah. I mean, they made the decision, so there's no really point in like trying to like break it down. But I was just always curious. Either which way, it's a yay from both of us. Watch it, enjoy it, get your laughs in. I think that's gonna really do it for this episode of Monster Madness. The next episode, we are gonna be talking a movie I have only seen bits and pieces of that I've never seen start from finish. And I'm really excited to watch it because I love the main actor in it from Back to the Future fame, Michael J. Fox.
Did you know that Michael J. Fox's middle name is Andrew?
Yes. I saw Kevin Howard's post.
I can't fucking get over this. Why is there a J?
Because he didn't like the sound of Michael A. Fox. So, and there was already a Michael Fox, I believe, in SAG. So he, I forget what he said the J actually represents, but when people ask, he says genius with a J.
Fair enough.
Because when Kevin posted that, I was like, I Googled it to just see if it was like for real. Not that Kevin would ever lie, but like I was just like, yeah. And then I just read the little synopsis on it. But yeah, there you go. Another minutia. But yeah, we're going to next episode, we're watching The Frighteners, which I'm super excited for because the bits and pieces that I've seen, I've thoroughly enjoyed. Matt, have you ever seen that?
No, but I know I've seen the cover, like the poster with the face coming through the white. Yeah, I've seen it hundreds of times. Never seen that movie.
Yeah. So another, basically a fresh movie for both of us. Very excited for that. It should be a good time. But yeah, we will see you on the next one. Thank you so much for listening. Feel free to shoot us some emails, some listener comments. Interact, man. We want to hear from you. We want to chat. Leave some reviews if you like. Talk about things that are going to make Matt mad. We love you guys. Bye.
Toodles.
There's something out there. That witch in the cellar is only part of it. It lives out in those woods. In the dark. Something that's come back from the dead.
Yay! Please, let's get the hell out of here.
We're going, baby. We're gonna get on that train.
Nobody goes out that door. Not till daylight.
You listen to me.